Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
Outstanding.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna give you a start, Milchi. I would love for you and your team to share with us how you use Estimate Rocket and how it helps your company thrive. I think you guys can say it best.
Sounds great. Sounds great. First of all, thanks for the introduction. We appreciate that, and thanks for having us on here. We're always happy to share because anytime you can help somebody else, it just that's what it's all about, right? So we know the struggles of starting a company, growing a company, building a company, maintaining a company. It's not easy. So anytime that somebody can share some wisdom and help each other, it's just better for all of us. And I think, but Tom, what you said earlier is very, very crucial that we may spend here, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it may be. And sometimes we as attendees think, all right, is this really worth my time, right? And what you said earlier was very important. You're just looking for a nugget. So are you looking for? We may say something for an hour and none of it might be relevant, but 30 seconds of it, one little nugget, and that could change the direction of your business. So that's why it's very important to just pay attention, whatever's being said, looking for that one little thing. And that's at any seminar, any event. That's what it's all about. So thanks for sharing that, Tom. And again, Kathy, thank you for the great introduction. You guys know how we feel about you guys. You guys have always been there from day one. And I think it's been, I think 8 or 10 years, somewhere there, always supporting us with great service and great care. So we appreciate you guys. So I just want to introduce our team here that uses EstimateRocket on a regular basis. I am the owner, Milchi Donev of First Choice Painting. Next to me, I have Bonnie Ray.
Hello.
And Bonnie will share in a second how she uses EstimateRocket. And there's Mr. Tim Jacobson. So Tim is our estimator. He is on the road with his iPad, being efficient and using EstimateRocket every single day. So in a second, he'll get a chance to talk about how that helps him. What are the benefits of using EstimateRocket as an estimating tool? Bonnie is primarily in the office, and as Bonnie, when the first call comes in for an opportunity, the first place she goes is EstimateRocket and inputs that data in the system, and from then she works out of EstimateRocket the whole time, and she uses every single day. Tim uses it every single day, and I use it every single day. So it's part of our lives, and almost like an iPhone, you really can't live without it. So that's how we feel about EstimateRocket. I'm going to let Bonnie talk a little bit about how she uses EstimateRocket, and if we can do a screen share, Tom. Also, is that possible?
Sure.
Can you give us permission to do a screen share?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to open up a project that is completed, and Bonnie will share with you that, for a couple of minutes, how she inputs, not how, but she inputs all the client's information, how we actually assign a job name to the project, and then it gets estimated and it goes back to her desk, and what she does at that point, and other things that she does with it to use it as a full project management. So what's cool about EstimateRocket, you've got Bonnie using it as a project management, and we have Tim using it as an estimating software. And then I use it in a whole different way, which is looking at all the reports. That is in one place, one source, without having 10 different Excel spreadsheets, which I don't know how to use and not good at those things. So let me give you permission. Bonnie, you want to take care of this because they're asking for permission to use
Yes.
to screen share. And she's younger. She's under 25, so she knows how to do it, and I'm over 50, so I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
That'll give you the ability to do your screen share whenever you're ready.
Okay. I think
It's asking us to go to system preferences. So take your time, Bonnie. It's okay. I'll keep talking while Bonnie's getting permission.
It may make you refresh that, Bonnie. So
I
got
it.
So, all right.
Yeah, we want to quit and reopen.
I think it's
okay. So
yeah, you may have to rejoin.
It's asking us. It asks us like to quit and restart it again if you want to share. So Try again, Bonnie. Try one more time. And it's okay to restart it again if it asks you that same question.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not going to let you do it.
It's gonna make you quit the session and come back in.
It's okay. I can explain.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when I initially get a lead from our office, they'll call and they'll be requesting an estimate for interior work, exterior work.
Tom, would you like to pull up a project? If I give you the project name, will that help? Will you share it?
Sure. Yeah, I can absolutely do that.
Let me give you the project. It's under all projects because it's completed. And it's
Yep.
Harkins, HARKINS -0413. Exterior.
You keep going, Bonnie. I'll have that up in a second.
Okay. So when a lead comes in, I'll ask for a little bit of information and I'll input it directly into EstimateRocket. I'll ask their name, their phone number, their email address, a little bit about what they want done, and then the source, where they found our company. Was it on Google? Was it referred to them by a previous customer? So on and so forth. And I'll be able to input that into their profile that I'm creating. Once I create that profile, I will put it on the estimator's dashboard. So all of us work off of a dashboard that's in EstimateRocket. And throughout the day, we want to check our dashboard to see what's updated. So I'll put this lead on Tim, my estimator, if it's his area. I'll put it on his dashboard, and from there, he'll reach out to the client to schedule an estimate. And he'll go on and talk about what he does from that perspective. But let's say the estimate gets approved. It will be back on my dashboard. Tim will automatically put it back on my dashboard. So I am, again, the point of contact for that client. And then I will schedule from there. Tom, how are we working?
Almost there. Hang on. Just about to put it on.
Perfect. So in a minute, we'll show you what that looks like. So it will be on my dashboard. And I will see the proposal signed, and I will see what they accepted and the scope of work. From there, I can decide what crew would be best for that project and with the area involved and what the project entails. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what it will look like when I open the project. On the top right, it says completed, so it will not say that. It'll say work order. So I'll know it's a brand new work order. Right below there is the job name and number. So in this case, it's Harkins 0413 exterior. So I know it's an exterior for Harkins residence.
We create that. You can share that. We create that number, and the way that's an internal job number that we follow along. We use the client's last name with the last 4 digits of the actual project number. And that works very well for us. So we can search under a last name. We can search under the 4 digits of the project number. And then we do a little description after that, whether it's exterior, painting, interior, whatever else we want. But that is again, it's a personalized job number that you don't have to use. That's kind of how we choose to use that. And we follow that along afterwards for purchase orders, anything else we need to do with it.
Correct. So from here, I'm going to call the client. If it's not, this is on the top left, that is the address and the client's name and information. Right below it is a contact list. So if it's not the homeowner you're going to be contacting, you can put the property manager's information in that contact file right below. So whoever I'm supposed to contact, I will know, and I will contact the right person. I will ask them when they were looking to schedule it. Once that's completed with that phone call, I will scroll down to the note section.
Oops.
Perfect. Right there. I'll scroll down to the note section and I'll press the add button and create a note. I spoke to the client on this day that they are looking to schedule in 2 weeks from now. And that will then go to the top of their profile for this project. Tom, can you show them at the top?
Sure.
So like the latest note will be there. From there, so then every
Hey,
time.
Bonnie,
Yes.
just a quick shortcut for the future. You can just use the plus add note from the top,
See, Tom, you're always teaching me something
and
new.
that will directly add the note without having to scroll down to the
Okay,
bottom
you
floor.
just saved me a lot of time.
Yes.
So, but this is where I keep all of the information for the project. So it's every discussion, I have it recorded, as well as if you scroll down, Tom, if there's any change orders that need to be added, it also will be added to the same area as the scope of work. So here are the proposals. You can see that there's the estimate, the bottom one, and it's the status on the right. It says approved. And then there's a change order right above it that also was approved. All right, and they approve it through the system. There's a lot I can talk about here.
There is. So there's just one other note. The tabs option is really kind of handy for the list option shows you the whole project in one scroll up and down, which is good, and I love it. But the tabs option lets you get to certain sections a lot quicker. And you can set that as a default. Fred will probably talk about that in another session. But the tabs option just lets you jump kind of between the different things that you might want to look at.
Right.
So
Okay,
the history or the...
Also, just a really neat thing about this is, like I said, this is for the whole project. So I'm able to record expenses. So if my painter is going to go to the paint store anytime for this project, all of my expenses are inputted into this project so that we know exactly what this project is costing us and the percentage that we're bringing in. So these are all the expenses for the project based on when our painters went to the store and for what.
Also utilizing that to pay any subcontractors. So any payments that are made either for material or labor as subcontractors are kept track. So this is truly a project management software, also all in one place. So,
and if you can take a look at the top of the screen, it says estimate and actual. That's showing you.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're fine.
The profitability section.
yeah.
Yes. So
Right
that
there.
profitability section is showing you the estimate. So that's what we estimated 791 hours. The actual was 773 hours. So the hours are allocated in here, as well as the cost, the profit, and the margin, and that's all in one space.
Sure.
I'm going to pass it on to Tim from here, and he's going to talk about how he does his estimating through EstimateRocket.
All right. And here's our famous Tim Jacobson, who goes out there and makes sure that we get fed by selling jobs.
Hey, Tom and gang, how you doing?
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong. I want to tell you guys not so much as the minutia of how everything works, but just how it makes my estimating life better.
Yeah.
Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, for sure.
So the first thing that makes my life easier is the workflow of the management portion of the software. I'm not going to bore you with exactly what, because Bonnie just explained all that. But the fact that you can transfer everything seamlessly from dashboard to dashboard, as my fearless leader will tell you, I'm not the best organized person in the world, but because everything, not just schedule wise, but just information that maybe Bonnie has to pass to me, or that I have to pass to Bonnie, or that I have to pass to my project manager, or vice versa. We can do that through the dashboard because I live and die by my schedule on the dashboard. So if I have, of course, the appointments is the easiest part of that. You got your appointments to see estimate clients on the dashboard. But Bonnie may leave me a note, hey, call such and such a person at 1 p.m. Somebody's expecting your call between 1 and 2 p.m. And that allows us to respond to the customers in the way that they want to be responded to. Maybe she'll say, oh, please text this person instead of call. She'll leave me a note on my dashboard. So all that information is right there in one spot to look at.
Perfect.
Which makes my life incredibly easy. One of my other favorite things about the dashboard is the hot tab on the right side there. So basically that lets me know one of a couple things. That I think one of the triggers of that, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong here, is that somebody has looked at the estimate.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Is that the only trigger, or?
That's an excellent question, Tim. I think there might be a couple other triggers as well.
Okay, but that's the important trigger for me. So if I know somebody has just looked at that estimate, so I'll go ahead and click on that project and go down to the proposals where it tells me, oh, this project was viewed at such and such a time. I can call them if, depending on my relationship with them, I can call them and say, hey, I can either play stupid and just say, hey, I'm just following up on the proposal, or if I have a relationship with them, I can say, hey, I saw you just looked at the proposal. Do you have any questions? Some people, it may sound a little big brother, but it's a tool I can use in a way that I feel appropriate based on my relationship with the client.
Sure.
So I like that feature. That's a fairly recent feature, I think. That just came out a year ago.
Yep.
Okay, I like that feature. As far as the estimating goes, that's not a 10-minute conversation. That's about a 10-hour conversation. Over the years, I've created groups and line items and templates that, of things that I use all the time. So I guess the short version of that story is everything is super programmable and plug and play if you choose to make it that way. Which means that in a lot of circumstances, I can go into somebody's house, barring anything extraordinary, and I can just write up an estimate right there on the spot. If I don't give them the actual formal copy right away, I can at least show them, hey, this is what the price is going to be. I want to make a few notes. I'll email this to you in a couple hours. So
hey, Tim, I have
yes.
a quick question for you. Because I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. From what you just said, the process of building your items and incrementally, updating your item templates and those things, seems like it's such an important part of the process. And it'd be nice if, everything was just automatic, but the reality is you have to build them into what you want them to be to make yourself more efficient.
Yes, and there are two ways. I'm sure there's more than two ways. There's two ways I've found to do that. And speaking to somebody who may be a new client of yours, you can sit down for the first week and just cram everything that you're expecting to come up and program them and create the line items for them, and then you're ready to go. The thing that I found that works for me is, obviously, the stuff that happens a lot, you're going to create line items and templates for that right away, because just by necessity.
Sure.
Some of the things that may not come up for you very often, like for us, painting roofs. We get that every now and then, but it's not a steady stream of work for us. So, the first time that comes along, you create the group or the line item for that, and then it goes back into the ether, and you can just call it up whenever you want.
Mm.
I don't want to get too into the creating of the line items. I'm sure that you've got better experts for that. Everybody's going to do it their own way. Everybody's going to put their own verbiage into it. Everybody's going to organize it a certain way. But that's the beauty of it. You can do all those things in a personalized way.
Right.
Right down to if you want to get into the weeds a little bit, you can manipulate the size of the text, the boldness of the text, the color of the text, the color of the box.
Right.
And again, that's a whole nother meeting. So I think, and then, when I'm done doing what I'm doing, of course, I transfer it back to Bonnie or to the appropriate person, or if it's a no, I'll archive it so I can call it up later if it comes up. But that basically covers the estimating, part of when the CRM is on my dashboard. That's kind of what happens.
And Tim, do you use these new action buttons on the dashboard?
I do not. For two
It can
reasons.
be very handy. Okay.
For two reasons, and the first one is shameful. I haven't really, I'm so into my routine that I haven't really saying, oh, I wonder what these are for.
Yeah.
Which is bad on me. But I haven't really run into anything where I've wow, this is really inefficient. I wish there was another way to do this. So
yeah. So probably this one here is if you decide you're not going to get to this today, you can click on that, put in a note, and set the date to another date.
Okay, where was the class on that when I needed it?
I know. So without going anywhere, without moving anywhere, you can do that right from that spot, and you don't have to go into the project.
I open the project and do it from inside the project.
And likewise, the first one here is email. Send an email to somebody on that project.
Okay.
Right? Or add a note while you happen to be here. Or call them.
Well, like Bonnie said, we learn something new all the time.
See, that's all. There you go. And even message them.
So yeah, so that just reinforces my point about the dashboard. I live and die off the dashboard.
Yeah, and those are all designed to make it faster to do the things on the dashboard without necessarily having to drill into the project if you really don't need to look at it. And I think a lot of people, the biggest challenge is managing the dashboard sometimes, mainly the late tab. Yours is pretty clean, but we have customers who have really full late tabs. But
and I can
in the future,
I can assign for all 33 people in that late tab. Those are back burner type stuff.
Sure, long-term projects.
You have a process.
Yeah, no, and that's good. But again, you can just there's some of the little things are that you learn. Hopefully there's a bunch of people out there not shaking their heads. Oh, that's really cool. That's going to be handy because it's hard. Like you said, you get caught up in your workflow and you get used to it, and sometimes we don't even notice the new things that pop up.
Correct. So, any other questions?
No, I think you covered it great. If anybody does have any questions though, don't hesitate to pop them into the question box because we're coming up to the Q&A time soon. So.
All right. So thank you, Bonnie and Tim. Appreciate that. I think the first lesson we're learning is that we should watch more of the webinars so we can learn all the latest and greatest in EstimateRocket. That's going to help our business grow also, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot like the iPhone. I like for myself, I use it for certain things, but there's probably a whole lot that I can use it for. And I think EstimateRocket has a lot that even us who've been using it for a long time need to stay on top of the new stuff and learn how to use it more efficiently, for sure. So
I just wanted to give my 2 cents in here. And, you know, it is a national statistic that most people only use about 20% of the features of any software product they own. You know, when I jump into QuickBooks, I'm not the finance person here, but when I jump into QuickBooks, I'm doing the same thing every single day. A couple things here and a couple things there, and then I get out of it. I don't explore and learn new things. So it's very typical that you don't know all the different, even though you've been using it for so long, you don't know all the features. And the features are evolving all the time, right? Every quarter, you're getting new surprises and gifts from EstimateRocket with new features. So I always tell people when I talk to them on the phone, they might want to sign their company up for advanced training so that you always do keep up with the latest features and maybe tips and tricks. So I just wanted to mention that.
thank you, Kathy. I think that's a great point.
You're
And
welcome.
that is our nugget for today. I think our nugget for today is that we should go advanced training, because you do get comfortable, like Tim says. You do get into a routine, and you think you know it, and but then new things come out, and we may see an email from EstimateRocket. We're like, okay, just a promotional email, but it could be. So there's
Yeah,
our nugget.
and then the other thing that I chat a lot with existing customers about is when I do my calls, if that 20% rule is correct, then you're teaching your new hires. Well, your new hires are sort of at a disadvantage because if that 20% rule applies, you're not able to teach them in depth the product like we can do it. So I even tell our clients, throw the new hires into one-on-one training and let us train them the right way, because we can even use your instance of EstimateRocket to train your team. We wouldn't do that for anyone else, but if it's your team member, we would do that.
Yep, fantastic. Tom, do you want to go to the reports on one of my reports, which I don't mind, or you can just do a generic reports, or you can go to ours.
Completely up to you.
Yeah, that's
Yours,
fine.
you okay with yours? Okay.
Yeah, you can go to ours, and if you want to do,
Okay.
if you want to do a year, if you want to do last year, whatever you want to do, or stay here, it doesn't matter to me.
Sure. You got plenty of data here, I think. So that's
Okay. So let me just go back a little bit with the estimating, what Tim covered. First of all, it is custom. Can you say it, Tom, for me, the word?
Customizable.
Right, customizable, right? That's the great thing about it. And Tom and I have talked about this a lot. The simpler you keep it, the better. You got to know your production rates. Like, what can you produce? How many doors can a painter paint in 1 hour, in 1 day? Knowing those production rates and keeping track of that on job sites will help you tremendously, then creating good, easy templates. And Tom and his team can get into all that about templates. But keeping it simple, knowing production rates, and then creating templates for different jobs is going to make your job easier. And me and Tim and our other estimator are working even to improve ours, so it's more plug and play, right? In estimating, you got the science of it, which is I got so much square footage, I got so many doors, then you got the art of it. So we're trying to minimize the art so the estimators don't have to think too much. So, to perfect that area. So if me or Tim or the other estimator go on a job site and we're estimating the same job, we should be within 5% of each other because of our templates that we have built for ourselves. So those are the things about the estimating. Project management, what Bonnie reviewed is really one source, one place for all information. So when a customer client calls up and asks for information, including, hey, can you send me a list of the colors that you guys use at my home, or the paints or anything? We always have that information available for them. So that's what's great about that. And then my favorite part, which I've done all of, because when I started, I was doing a lot of estimating myself, is the reports part of it. And it's also one source. So the best thing that I said earlier was that without a bunch of other Excel spreadsheets, we're able to get the reports that we need simply by doing the right things, by assigning an estimator to the job, assigning a project manager or slash field supervisor to the job. So by just assigning those folks, the system gives you reports automatically without any additional work, and that is very valuable for an owner. So if you're an owner of one employee in your painting company or 30, start even at one employee utilizing this because it's going to help you in the long run. So some of the reports that I look at, Tom, from the left side, obviously that's for this month. Those are jobs that have been invoiced, correct, Tom? They've been invoiced.
That is correct. Yep.
So,
Sales equals invoices. Yeah.
yeah, sales by source, meaning where the lead came from. Sales by estimator, right? So you can see, so that each estimator has a sales there. The completed work orders shows you, you want to go, okay, you want to go that way?
Okay.
New
Okay.
projects by source, right? That's there also. I look at that, but that's not my primary one that I look at. The ones that I look at on a regular basis is the accepted estimates that are very critical, because if we're getting accepted estimates, those will turn into sales, right? Because when estimate is accepted, you perform the job, you invoice, that goes to sales. So I'm constantly looking at accepted estimates. That's for this month right here. We're we're way under our budget for this month because we have a goal every month to reach 400,000 per month. That is our goal. And this month we're very low. So we know that next month we have to make up for it. So next month and the month after. So that's how that helps you right there, is accepted estimates. This is on a regular basis, I'm looking at this. Then I go deeper every month, but every single week, I'm looking at these numbers right here. Completed estimates is important, but really accepted estimates is what we look at as a team all the time. We know what our goal is, and then we have to shoot for. We know if we got to be more aggressive. For example, 3 weeks ago, we took old clients list, me, Tim, and another salesman. We got on the phone and we made calls to our old clients that we painted 6 years ago, 5 years ago. That's what was needed at that point to generate more leads, and it actually worked out. We did get some opportunities from that. So we look at that accepted estimates all the time. The other one's very important is open work orders. That is the amount of work that you have sold that you have not invoiced for. So as the owner, that is very critical. It's telling you how much work do I have coming up, and it's either the job has not started, or you've started it and you've invoiced partially. So whatever is not invoiced on a job is going to show up here. And our uninvoiced right now is 1,094,000, which is not a comfortable number for me. We like to be at 1.5 million. So we know, again, our sales are low. And that is very important, because if you know your basic overall numbers, you know how much you have to sell every month, you know how much you have to perform and what percentage that you need to meet those goals, what gross profit. Though, if you meet those numbers, the rest of the stuff's going to kind of fall in place. So I look at these numbers all the time. So I know right now our team as sales, we're very aggressive to get more leads, get more estimates out there, sell more work, and get our uninvoiced work, or some people call it backlog, back to 1.5 million, which is our comfort zone. So those are some of the most important ones that I look at on a regular basis on a large scale. And then, of course, accounts receivables is on the very top right-hand corner, Tom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now we got, a little over 300,000 out there that we're collecting. And that's we have an idea what that number is every single month. And that's an important number, obviously, for the purpose of collecting and make sure. And we got some that are over 90. Those are probably general contractors. We all know that. And these are to wait for. So typically our residential clients pay pretty quickly. Our home builders and new construction, whether it's commercial or housing, takes a little bit longer. Therefore, we got between 31 and 60 days, 61 and 90 days, and over 90 days. But those are the most important places that I look at all the time, because if I meet those numbers, The rest of the numbers, which I do look at on a monthly basis, will fall into place. And the rest of the numbers, Tom, I don't know if you want to get into that, but the closing ratio of your estimators, you can look at
Sure.
that. And again, the biggest thing I want you to take away from this is that you're not doing any extra work to get these reports. We're not paying an additional person to do additional spreadsheets to get these reports. You get these automatically with EstimateRocket simply by assigning each task of the project to the right person, and the reports are printed out for you. I mean, that's fantastic. So here you can see Tim Jacobson for this month. He has a closing ratio for this year. He has a closing ratio of 46%. If you want to go to last year, Tom, give them a little bigger sample. I think that's very helpful. And so this is last year, 2014. So Gustavo Garcia is our new construction estimator. He sits in a box and just does takeoffs off of plans and PlanSwift. So he's at a lower percentage rate. He's at 28%. And those are his accepted total, accepted average. And then we have Tim, who closes about 52%, which means he's not charging enough. He better raise his prices, So there's the closing, which is a fantastic closing ratio. That is, if you're closing 50% of your jobs, that is fantastic at the right profit margins, obviously, right? And then you've got myself, who gets all the cake leads, the nice and easy ones. I'm at 62%. Those are like my brother and my friends who they're not going to say no to me, right? I'm not a better estimator. I just have better friends than Tim. That's all. That call me for work. And then we have another estimator who closed at 46%. That's Dick Freen. Yeah. And then we have a project manager who closed at 100%. Those are typically, he's at a job site already. We're already working for the client, and they're just looking for additional work. That's all that is, So that gives you an idea here of the closing ratios of your estimators. And again, I urge you that even if you're a small company, you're the only estimator, look at all these statistics and reports. They're going to just help you get in the good habit of, as you build your business, to utilize these reports yourself.
Good information in there.
Now we did have a couple questions that came in. One of the questions that came in, and this can be for anyone on the team there at First Choice. This is Fred from EstimateRocket. The question came in: do you just archive the job when it is not closed? So what is your process when a job doesn't close?
When a job is not accepted, we do archive it.
Yep.
Right. We do archive it, so we don't delete it, because obviously that's valuable information for future marketing that you can utilize. So those are clients that did not accept your job, but they're in your database. Mm-hmm. So we don't delete any work at all, anything.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions for the First Choice team? The specific ones, and I can I'll narrate those or make those public so that everybody understands them and ask the questions.
Any questions from us or for us?
No, for you. For you, yeah. I know you guys.
A lot of questions. We got a lot of questions.
You guys have been talking for the last 35 minutes. Yeah, I don't think you have any questions except those neat learning things. Oh, and I'm gonna throw my 2 cents worth in here as well. The hot tab, what Tim was talking about, the hot tab is on the dashboard, is an unsigned proposal that has been viewed in the last 48 hours. Okay. So that is the internal definition of what shows on the hot tab. That is an unsigned proposal viewed in the last 48 hours.
Fantastic. And Milton, you know what that means? You pick up that phone and say, "Hello, Mrs. Smith. I was just thinking about you." And that's all you need to say, because she's going to say, "You must have ESP. I was just reading your proposal."
Kathy, would you like to have another job, part-time, selling for First Choice?
No, she's busy enough here.
I could do that in my spare time. If there's a day in the week, I could fit that in.
Tom, is there anything specific that I've left out that you'd like, that you think is important that we can cover from our team? Anything at all?
Any of us?
No, I think you guys have done a great job, and you really use EstimateRocket the way it was designed to be used, except for a few things that you didn't know about that after today you'll be all set with. Yeah, it's really good. It's exciting.
for anybody wanting to scale your business, and this was really, I remember 8 years ago or 10 years ago, just searching and searching online for different estimating softwares, project management softwares, and you feel like you're all over the place because you're growing and you feel a little bit out of control. I think that's the right word I'm going to use. As you start to grow, and if you don't have systems in place, you feel out of control and you feel like you cannot provide the service to your clients. You're just stretched too thin. And I don't care, it doesn't matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how great of a salesman you are, project manager, or anything. When you're stretched too thin and you're spread out, you cannot provide the same customer experience. And when this was incorporated into our systems with EstimateRocket, I felt at that point that I got better control of our company, and we can still provide that same great service to our clients that we've been providing for many, many years.
Yeah, it really is. And again, you've really utilized it to its full extent, and it's really, it's fun to see.
Well, and
It
it's
looks
so
like there was
gratifying for us to
Yeah.
see
why we
success.
do this.
Yeah.
Now,
There's
we
one other-
appreciate you guys. You guys have seen the growth in our company
Yeah.
since we started with EstimateRocket. I think
Yeah.
when we started with you guys, I think I was, our total revenue was maybe a little over $1 million a year. And, last year was a low year of right around 4. And prior to that, we were at 4.8 total revenue. And a lot of that is because of our systems that we have with EstimateRocket. Without that, we could not have done what we're doing. And we have bigger and better plans moving forward. So we're excited about it, and we thank you guys for all the work that you do and the care that you have for your clients to provide them with a great service and a great product.
Well, it's our
Thank
pleasure.
you
That's
so
why
much,
we do
Milton.
this.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
There is one other question that Milchi is, do you guys do estimates on the spot, or do you collect the data and come back and do them in the office?
That's a
Depends
great
on the
question.
size.
Great question. Me and Tim have discussed that, and that's exactly the better template you have, the more likely you're able to do that. But primarily for the
Right.
smaller jobs, when the job is very elaborate, you have a large interior. A lot of times, and Tim and I talked about this, the people don't want you there for a long time in their house necessarily. So if it's a smaller project, we use our templates, we get it done on the spot. Larger projects, we gather all the information we need, and we finalize it back at our office.
Sure. And it looks like there was a follow-on to that, which we probably is not relevant, but it was asking, actually, this one does. Are you able to complete the estimates at least in the same day if you're coming back from, again, probably back to the templates?
Yeah, I'm going to say the majority, absolutely. Right. The majority, and again, depends on your schedule that day. If you've gone to 4 estimates and a couple of them are large ones, probably not. But I feel as a company owner, if we get the estimate to the client the same day or the next day, I think that's a win right there. The next day is a win.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
All
Anybody have any additional questions? I think you guys have done an amazing job and totally appreciate it. And hope you got your nugget, so that's good too. You give it.
Our nugget. I hope everybody else got the
Beautiful
nugget for the day, and the best of luck to everybody, and keep building it. Thanks, Tom. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Milchi.
Thank you so
Bonnie.
very much.
Bonnie and Tim, thank you guys too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.